I am at the gym right now, and I'm not one of the people working out, as you can see. I just did 5 minutes on the treadmill, which is not my finest work by any stretch of the imagination. Not a athletic achievement I'm particularly proud of, but I am actually proud of it. Here's why. Over the past 2 weeks, I'm in Chicago right now. Over the past 2 weeks since I came here, some combination of factors has resulted in the sleep problems that I've had my entire adult life ramping up to a 10, to the severity that I've never experienced before. And the first 3 days that I was here, I I maybe slept 6 hours in 3 nights, something like that. The fourth day, I had to take a half sick day off of work, which is a weird thing to do when you don't have any sick symptoms. It's just that you're dying. That's your symptom. Your body is just preparing for the permanent end because it's got nothing left. So I thought, I'll wait this out. I'll make this work. And a few more weeks went by, and it didn't get better. I mean, I get a little better and then right back down, And my historical solution for, again, I've been trying to fix my sleep for 10 years. My historical solution uh, has been drugs called caffeine. Caffeine is a very strong and effective drug. It makes you feel better, it makes you awake, and it makes you a functioning member of society when your biological patterns otherwise would not allow you to be. I absolutely guarantee that if we were in a time of uh, pre-caffeine discovery, whatever that the pre-enlightenment Europe, when water wasn't safe to drink, so everybody was drinking beer and wine, and they were all sluggish. And then they learned how to boil water, and they started making tea and coffee, and they were caffeinated, and all of a sudden all this shit got done during the Enlightenment. If I was born in that first part, I would be screwed, especially with my biological wiring. I have at least one parent who's also a night owl, so I mean, there's some genetic component to it. And then there's also just modernity, screens, growing up in the world of nightlife from the ages of 16 to 26, whatever, those patterns just get really deeply embedded. And I've spent about the past 10 years trying to conquer them. And that's the one demon that I have not been able to conquer. Uh, so long and short of it, the sleep thing got so severe that I said to myself, if I don't fix this acutely, like now, if I don't get some kind of intervention right now, um, I have no clue what's going to happen to me. It's going to be very, very bad. I mean, it was just a downward spiral. Um, and if I don't fix it chronically, basically for the future, I'm still going to have a heart attack by the time I'm 45. What I'm doing is not sustainable. So I found a program, which is a CBT program, cognitive behavioral therapy, involving a coach. And so my problem is not insomnia. I'll come back to the CBT thing in a second. My problem isn't insomnia. There is something in my brain that, even well past being tired, I force myself to stay up. I will be nodding off and I will still force myself to stay up, to do one more productive task or to watch one more YouTube video, whatever it is. My brain at that point, I will be tired, I'll be exhausted, but I will force myself to stay up. And one of the first things that my coach did, um, instead of kind of the usual advice, well, we got to get you, 8 hours of sleep. That's what every adult needs. Blah blah blah. Let's get you to sleep by midnight, and then have you wake up at 8 every single night. Whatever. Not that. Not that. She said, "Oh, you don't want to go to bed? Cool, you can't go to bed. You will stay up until 3 a.m. and you will wake up at 9 a.m. You want to sleep more than 6 hours? Can't." And guess what happens? Basically, within a day of being forbidden, within a day, I'm begging for permission to be able to go to sleep. So my paradigm, my natural pattern is is to somehow fight this force of sleep as if it's like an antagonist, as if it's an enemy, as if it's taking away my ability to have just one more productive thing during the day or just one more fun thing, in my day, whether, usually in the form of like a video or a movie or whatever. Just one more, and sleep is taking it away from me. All of a sudden, sleep is taken away from me. And now I'm like, oh, please, just a little more sleep. Amazing. And by the way this program works, it's you only get an extra 30 minutes per week, so you don't get spoiled. So I got a nice 4 weeks ahead of me. It's going to be rough, but I can tell the fact that it's flipped my psychology. I'm already on the right path. So as part of this program, um, as part of this program, um, I'm sorry, as part of the insomnia, a few other negative things started happening. I started binge eating, which I hadn't done in a long, long time. Because guess what? When you are fatigued to the point of like your body just pew, game over, any semblance of self control you think you have, any discipline, I can't speak for you, but I'll tell you for me, there's that famous, I think, Winston Churchill quote: "Fatigue makes cowards of us all." Man, no joke. No joke. So I digress. Let's get back to the point here. As soon as the thing that I was fighting was taken away from me as an option, it flipped my psychology. It made me go from somehow not being able to find a way to do it, this subconscious fighting of this thing that I know is good for me and I want to do it. I just can't seem to get myself to do it. All of a sudden, it was flipped, and I'm begging. I'm begging for permission to do it. Um, so, along with the binge eating, another thing that happened is if anyone's been keeping up with me, I've lost, depending on from what day you count, something in the ballpark of 35 pounds in the past 2 years. I'm in better shape, better basically than I've ever been, except in these past 2 weeks, I've backslid quite a bit. I think it's safe to say I gained about 5 pounds. There's certain mornings where I can be fooled to think that it's 10 pounds, but I know it's water weight, blah, blah, blah. One day after that, 2 days after one of these binges I just talked about, I'm back up, still about 5 pounds. And I take pictures and measurements. I've done some damage. I know it. I'm not fooling myself. It's weird because going to the gym was such a huge part of my life. And then, I took a plane ride a few hours away, and all of a sudden it just falls apart. How the hell did that happen? And for 2 weeks, I've been trying to like wrestle with this. I've been trying to, yeah, figure out like how do I restore it? How do I get back into it? Do I inch my way back into it? Whatever. I don't know. I've just been trying different things, or not really trying, especially in the face of the fatigue. I couldn't so much as even get to the gym. Well, decided to try something different. I said, "You're not allowed to work out. Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna drive to the gym at 7 o'clock every day, and I'll let you go on the treadmill, which is not, by the way, like what I consider working out. I mean, when I work out, it's generally a hard workout. Usually involves picking up heavy things, putting them back down. Not besmirching the good name of cardio. I'm just yeah, some incline power walking is not what I'm talking about when I talk about working out. And yeah, but I said you're not going to do any of that stuff. You're going to have 5 minutes on the treadmill. So of course, now that I'm here, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do the treadmill at like pretty fast walk, like 15-degree incline. Like, if it's only 5 minutes, I'm like trying to push hard. And then I took a lap around the gym and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll pick up this dumbbell. Maybe I'll pick up this kettlebell. I'm like, no, you can't. You can't. And so the interesting thing is when you can't seem to get yourself to do something, maybe instead of trying to figure out why, um, one of my mentors said, why is a question for depressed people and philosophers? I think he's generally onto something. In general, I try to ask, you know, what do I want to do? How do I want to behave? What future do I want to achieve? Why did something happen in the past usually is not that important. I can talk more about that another time in the spirit of keeping this video a reasonable length. But um, instead of asking why it's happening or trying to dissect and diagnose and kind of fix the anatomy of the problem itself, maybe we just intercept the problem. Yeah, maybe we just short circuit it and say, whatever happened. That's gone. You don't get those 2 weeks back. You can't get those workouts back. That's fine. Sunk cost. But now there's some part of you that wants to get back into it. And yet somehow the pragmatic part of you, the driver, the ego, the part of you that you associate with every day that's actually doing stuff, you can't get it to do that thing, whatever. Well, why don't you take that away? Why don't you take that even opportunity away and see how much all of a sudden the ego starts clawing for a way to start doing that thing. I think it's a really interesting idea. I'm going to play with this more. It's one of the more, I would say, profound tools that's been brought to my attention in the recent past. And yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of value in not analyzing ourselves and just getting the best performance out of ourselves via whatever means it takes. Plus, you can get the perfect analysis, and then what? If you can't then translate that into pragmatic action that allows you to behave in a way that you're proud of and that you're happy with, then congratulations. You've achieved analysis, but you haven't actually achieved what you want, which is to be able to move forward, to be able to move on, to be able to live in a way that you want to live. So let me know if you give this a try. Let me know if you're able to overcome some serious sticking points. I'm really curious. I'm curious what kind of nuances, limitations, et cetera, this technique has. But I'm all ears, and yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys.